If you have lifted your 2007 through 2018 JK up to 4.5 inches and notice you're lacking some stability and even some comfortability in your driving, these Freedom Off-Road adjustable front upper and front lower control arms for 0 to 4.5 inches of lift are a solid mod to look into. This set of upper and lower front control arms offers a big improvement in handling after lifting, and if you're an avid off-roader that wants to get super technical about their suspension, these allow you to dial in your angles and increase your suspension travel compared to the stock arms. This is even great for the JK owner who doesn't have a lift kit at all, whether you have not pulled the trigger on a lift kit yet, or you need a replacement for worn out control arms and want a set that will leave your opportunities open in the future with a wide range of adjustment. Now, when lifting your JK with fixed control arms, what happens is it raises the center and pulls the axles in, resulting in a steeper control arm angle, which can create instability, limited suspension travel, and even a reduction in traction depending on how aggressive the lift kit height is. Now, this set, however, allows you to lengthen the control arms to push those axles back, reduce that harsh angle, and flattens the pinion angle to its proper position. Now, that helps with handling, stability, and better control within your suspension and even your steering, and ultimately reduces the stress on your control arms so that they can last much longer, especially with how well built these are with the large no lift to 4.5 inch lift range that these have. Now, the construction here is made of a 1.8 inch DOM steel tubing, being a bit larger than the factory ones, but a lot stronger to reduce damage and wear over time. Now, the arms also have a dual layer electro-coated black finish to reduce any rust over time. Now, the main tubing here and the coating is great for the strength, but what's also a very solid and integral part of this construction is the 1 inch diameter adjustable stem that's sturdy, even though it is a little bit smaller, and it threads into the main control arm tube here very well and has a grade 8 locking nut on the stem. Now, that allows you to twist these out to the preferred length and then tighten this down, making sure that it's not going to go anywhere. It is single adjustable, so you will have to remove one side in order to adjust it to that preferred length, but this system makes it very easy to do so. This kit also comes with all of the required hardware that you need and reuses some of the factory hardware, so you don't have to question when it comes time to install this. Now, this set is about $400 and is pretty average in price compared to others in the category. Now, what stands out most about this set, however, is that it comes with a pair of both fronts, so you have more of a one-stop shop for your front suspension, and this has a very wide range of adjustment. Now, compared to others that may come with either all 8 or only 2 in the set, this allows you to focus on the front suspension for whatever reason you need to, and allows your Jeep the room to grow rather than being locked into a smaller range if those are 2 things that you would prefer for your build. Now, install requires some mechanical experience here, but it isn't too advanced, so you most likely can tackle this if you have some mechanical know-how and have the right tools and setup. Now, this gets a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and will take about 4 hours or so to install the set. Now, I do strongly recommend after this is installed that you do get an alignment to make sure that your adjustments and your suspension angles are in check when finished for the best handling and the best performance out of this set. Now, at this point, however, I am going to hand you over to one of our guys in the shop. They are going to show you how to install these on your JK step by step. So that is going to wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, a 3/8 inch adapter if necessary, 18mm swivel socket, 17, 18, and 21mm sockets, 18, 19, and 21mm wrenches, a large adjustable. Also not shown here is a couple pole jacks or jack and jack stands. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing some control arms on our Wrangler, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so we've got our Wrangler in the air, we've got the wheels off, we've also got some pole jacks under the front differential. Now we're gonna do these one at a time. It's gonna help kind of keep everything in line and not really kind of move everything out of the way too much. So we're gonna start with our lower one, and we're gonna remove the bolts with our 21mm socket and our 21mm wrench. Pop this off. That'll pop right up. Again, this is gonna support the weight. We'll set this aside and we can remove our chassis mount bolt. That is going to fall down on you, so make sure you catch it. We can let that hang for a second and we'll support this. Pull this bolt out, set this one aside. All right guys, now we'll get our new lower control arm in. Now these are adjustable up to a 4.5-inch lift setting from stock. Your adjustment's gonna be here. You wanna make sure this is the same length as the old ones you pulled off, or if you're installing a lift at the proper length you need. We'll go ahead and install these. We're gonna reuse our factory hardware for this one. Reinstall our nut. Then we'll get our front mount in place. Have to adjust this out a little bit. You want to leave this loose until you get everything in place where you need it. Get that nut back in. And we're just going to snug these down for now. And with our 21mm socket on our impact and 21mm wrench. Now we can take our upper one off and we're gonna start with our differential mount. So we'll need our 18mm wrench, an 18mm socket on our impact. Now that we have this one out, we'll get our upper mount. Now this mount is usually covered by a little heat shield, which ours has been removed from us, but you will need a 10mm socket to remove the 2 screws and take this heat shield off. And once you have that off, you can grab an 18mm swivel socket.
Get this bolt off. Now this one has a flag nut in the frame.
There goes your flag nut. Support our control arm, pull that out. Now we're gonna install our new upper control arm. So we'll get our chassis side mount in place. We're gonna reuse the factory bolt for that. Now we wanna get it through, but don't put it all the way through just yet. I wanna get that flag nut back into place, get that lined up. Now this is a little bit tricky. You'll need to kind of support your control arm while getting the bolt through. And we'll get that started. You'll know once it's started, that flag will start to turn with the bolt. We'll leave that like that for now, and we'll get our diff mount in place. We may need to bring this in a little bit to get it past the diff. Again, you want to leave these loose until you know you have them in position. So bring that up and over. That needs to come out. This makes it pretty easy to adjust it how you need it. We'll get our new hardware in place. Line that up. Now we'll get that bolt all the way through. We can install our supplied lock nut. Once again, we'll snug these down. We'll start up top, again with our 18mm swivel socket. Now we'll snug this side down with our 17mm socket on our bolt head and our 19mm wrench for our lock nut. Now once you have everything in position and snug down, we'll need to tighten up our adjuster nuts. So we've got an adjustable wrench just to set these in place. And we're just gonna get that to where there's tension on it. That's gonna push against the main shaft of our control arm. We'll get that snug as well as our upper one. This one's gonna be a little bit of a hassle to get to. Now we'll go back through and tighten down all of our bolts. So once again, got our 17mm socket, and our 19mm wrench, 18mm swivel socket for our top bolt, 21mm wrench, and 21mm socket for our bottom ones. Now once you've got this side complete, you want to torque everything down to the manufacturer recommended spec, and then you can do the same thing on the other side. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Freedom Off-Road adjustable front, upper, and lower control arms for a 0 to 4.5-inch lift on your 07 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.